The tech industry is in a sad state, y'all. It's been hard for the tech workers who have been laid off in the last few years. And really, it's also been hard for the people that get left behind in the company. A scenario that I actually didn't really think about, but is quite prevalent, is that an employee that gets laid off, well, they leave a team of engineers behind. And that team of engineers will typically have to pick up the slack for that employee not being there. And if the company doesn't have a plan to hire someone else on, then the employees that are left behind are just left with all this extra work. And that cannot be good for your mental health. If you guys yourselves are in the industry, you know this. It's such a cognitively intensive job to be doing technology, especially when you're in the engineering space, that if you're consistently overworking your brain like that, it's going to take a toll on you one way or another. And many of you guys know it's not uncommon for us to be locked up in a room for even 12 hours at a time, only taking moments to go use the restroom or get a quick snack. And maybe you can sustain that for a few days while you're actually programming or doing something very difficult. But in the long run, that kind of intensity will start to take a toll on your health. I'm actually not very surprised when you look online and you find data, recent data, on dissatisfaction with even developers who are employed. Nobody likes to get overworked to the gills. And if we're committing to a 9-to-5 employment, my guess is most of us don't really like to work over that 9 to 5, and nor should we have to. It's definitely a difficult time to be a developer, not just if you're laid off, which is one half of the coin that I think gets a lot of attention, but also for the other half. The job market has also been really trash. So with the application process, back in the day, I used to be able to send out a bunch of applications fairly quickly, and there was a lot of interest in the market. And this is for level 3 senior roles, mid roles. And nowadays, even though you're qualified, because of the amount of people that are in the market, you're not really, all right, at least I have not really seen a very eager response from companies, right? Now, there are edge cases, and I've been seeing some myself, where people are still able to get hired. But definitely, I would say the majority experience, definitely for myself, so it's anecdotal, but from what I've seen across the internet, is that it's a tough market, and it's not just for tech workers. I think in general, people are feeling it pretty hard right now, both employers and employees. And that leads me to talking about the economy. The federal interest rate has been up for so long now that they're really squeezing, and by they I mean the Federal Reserve is really squeezing the life out of the economy. And once you start looking at how interest rates work and how an inflation-based economy works, them lowering the interest rate may seem like the quick-term solution, but in the long term, even that is just a catch-22, because as soon as they lower that interest rate, there's going to be a crap ton of inflation that occurs, right? Because lowering the interest rate means that it just effectively makes it easier to print money, right? And in an economy that's already just pretty much battered by inflation as it is, more inflation, it doesn't necessarily actually solve the problem. Once you start to kind of put these things together, and if you're around the internet at all, There's just crazy stuff happening around us politically. There's crazy stuff happening with stuff like weird, like, like a CrowdStrike's outage. Microsoft just recorded that they had an official cyber attack. So you're here as a developer and you're just like getting bombarded with a lot of chaos. You either have a job or you don't have a job. If you do have a job, you're likely being overworked. And when you peer out your window, apparently the world is exploding around you, right? So it is a absolutely crazy time to be alive. And I just wanted, I almost forgot here, I didn't mention this part, but also the AI stuff. But AI, for as much as it's been really something that has gotten a lot of attention, I think insofar as the economy is actually concerned, and insofar as it relates to us in today's market, it's pretty much proven to be vaporware at this point. Just because the utility is still not there. Doesn't mean that money isn't flowing to it, but I don't really think it's had as much of an impact as you would think for such a for such a shaky ship like the one that we're on right now. So the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is because I've realized that a lot of my content, because I cover the industry, has been trending toward negative, and I don't like that necessarily, right? Because I think it's not good to be bombarded from a psychological standpoint with so much information like that, with so much negative information. But I also think it does a disservice to you guys to not let you know what you're actually getting involved with when you're entering this industry. And I think one of the regrets I had now that looking back, is not really researching the nature of the industry. I researched, how much you can make it as a developer, how to make it as a developer, just by being self-taught. So I researched kind of like those more like things that you would be concerned about when you're trying to enter into an industry. But I didn't really look at the nature of the industry, right? I just kind of went off the hype of, hey, it's tech's going to be here forever, it's only going to go up kind of deal. And it's a very volatile industry. I mean, the nature of the industry is just like it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. It's just so tied into these boom and bust cycles, which that's the nature of the economy in general, or a characteristic of the economy in general. But if I did not tell you guys what's actually going on in this industry, then I would be doing a disservice to you too, because I'm not letting you know what this industry is about, which is that regret that I have, that I wish I would have known that coming in, because I would have been better prepared for how to maneuver my way around such volatility, right? It's kind of like thinking that you're investing in something that's as stable as gold, and you're really investing in in volatility, right? So, and if you're not prepared for that volatility, you're not gonna do well typically, right? But if you know that it's inherently volatile and that in the long term it could provide benefit to you, then you're I think psychologically, at least definitely myself, I know I'm better apt for handling the circumstances, because my strategies are adapted to reality. And although the news are not always positive on this channel, I do think that at the very least I'm being truthful and trying to tell you guys what reality actually looks like, instead of trying to paint you some like fancy picture of, hey, learn to code, without really giving you the good and the bad. So that being the case, I don't want to just make this video about highlighting the problems. I wanted to actually talk about what a solution looks like as engineers or as tech professionals in general. And really what it comes down to, when things start to get this crazy and things are starting to get so unpredictable that it's almost hard to tell, I'm exaggerating here, but when it becomes hard to tell between left and right, what it comes down to, I really think, for a person, an individual, this is a strategy that I've applied. I'm not going to tell you that this is what you should do. I don't like doing that stuff, because people are in such unique situations that I'm not really an authority to do that. Only the Lord can do something like that. But what I was going to say is that a strategy that I implement is my attitude. It's really the thing that I end up controlling out of all this is my attitude. It's like, how do I react to the information that I'm getting? Do I decide to get fearful and stick my head in the sand? or do I decide to take action, right? And that's just it right there. Action. Action is the key word. I think what I've realized is that when things get shaky, the best thing that I could do is to fight, right? Is to be proactive in everything that I'm doing and to engage deeply in the goal that I believe is going to actually get me out of whatever conundrum I find myself in, and to get it to a point where I'm making sacrifices towards that goal so that it actually hurts to pursue it a little bit because I'm pursuing it so hard, right? And the only reason why I say that is because it's an antidote to all the negativity, because essentially what that does to my mindset is that it allows me to say, hey, you know what? Regardless of what happens, I don't give a F. I'm going to make this work, right? And it can be a bit ferocious and sound a bit extreme to have that attitude, but I also think that we are living in extreme and ferocious times. So it doesn't really make sense to try to play it passively anymore, right? When things are shifting so quickly, the most agile amongst us will be the most successful, right? And a lot of times agility isn't always being the best calculated or the most measured. What I've seen is that it comes down to my ability to take action, right? And whatever plan I have, sometimes it almost seems like, is this like half baked or not? It doesn't really matter, because I'm better off executing a halfly baked plan than not executing at all, right? What I recommend to you guys, if I could recommend anything at all, is to not let that fear get to you. Take action in whatever realm that you can and make it happen. The emotionality of the moment is not going to serve you well right now. The only thing that's going to serve you well is moving in the direction that's going to get you unstuck from wherever you're stuck, right? Or at least that's what I would tell myself, right? Because I say you, but I'm really talking to myself here. And hopefully you guys can relate. So that's it, guys. Hit like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. But if you want to get more involved with the channel and you want to support the channel, you can become a Patreon in the link below. It's in the description box. It's a PayPal link. It's only $5 a month. And with the email that you sign up with, I will send you an invite to our private Discord. And yeah, ideally we can build a community around this channel of professionals that are looking out for each other, and not just looking out for each other to get paid, but also looking out for each other to be in careers and live the lives with our trade that are satisfying and healthy and beneficial, not just to us, but to the families that many of us are responsible for. So if that sounds like you, then that's like the kind of person that I want to be in this Discord. I have some carryover from my students from last year, and we've been seeing some success even in this industry, which is super crazy. So like I said, if that sounds like you, make sure to hit the link in the description, sign up for only $5 a month. You guys can leave whenever you want. It's I'm not going to feel some type of way about it. But yeah, other than that, yeah. Oh, also, I'm trying this new format. This video, I just did some talking points. It's more unscripted, but I also wanted to connect with you guys on a personal level, so that it's not just like me, like being like reporter Fido, you know? But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.